Hi everybody, I wanted to talk a little bit on Thread Thursday about the workshop I did the other day. Now, I learnt a lot of stuff, and so now I feel I'm a little bit unorganised. So I was doing Veronique's Quilt Designs, and it was 10 till 3, so it was a lovely, lovely workshop. There was only a couple of us ladies, so we got quite a bit of undivided attention. And Veronique has come up with this beautiful design. She loves flowers and petals. So this is the Christmas quilt, which I believe has just started to hit the shops. And so we were lucky enough to be the first to see her actual quilt. And all the designs come on a, I don't want to show too much of it or up too close because it is her design. This is for the quilt with the designs on, and each square has the flower petals and then a design in, so it's 4 of each one. We also got this, so this was what we can use to make the petals. Right, so I've decided to do the cardinal bird because it matches my winter journal that I'm doing at the moment. So I'm going to leave all the links below for Veronique's Instagram, the shop I went to, which I hadn't been to before, but it was a massive quilting shop, and so it had so many goodies. Everyone was buying up big, but I didn't want to buy a lot of stuff because I'm not that financial, and so it was a bit to just get to do the course for me. So there were little bargain bins with some of this. So I've got a little bit of this beautiful stuff because I thought that'll be really lovely in my winter journal. Now, we used a hoop as we were going, so that was handy. The one thing that I wanted to comment on, and of course I have searched everywhere and I could not for the life of me remember the name of this stuff, but as I've been using this Bonder web, so it's quite thick, the interfacing, the part that you sew here, it's relatively thick. So they all said to me that I needed to get this stuff, so I got this stuff. I wish I could remember what it was called. However, when I did a search on the internet, there are a lot of different brands and there are a lot of different things. Basically, a lot of embroiderers use this very, very fine. So the rough side, you iron the rough side. I'll show you on my actual one. So this is as far as I got on the day because we talked a lot. But it's ready to go in my little winter journal, so I don't know if I'll do all of them or just cut this out and use this. I've got a do's beak, the little stem, the stick, and his feet, and the little leaves, so I've still got those to do. But this is what it does. You iron it on the back and the glue sticks, and it stops. This is why I learnt a lot. It was so good. I learnt so many things. It stops the movement, So even though I have mine in a hoop, and as I always say to you all, I am learning, I still found I was pulling my threads a bit tight, so there is that little bit of a puckering that I have also. So many tips in this video because I learnt a lot. I learnt because the ladies that were doing the class and Veronique are all very long-term experienced quilters. I've never made a quilt in my life, so I don't know anything. But we found they were not advising to iron your embroidery on here because there's not as much give. So they're advising that if you put a towel down, put your embroidery down and then give it an iron, you can actually, without squashing down your threads, iron it out and smooth out a bit of this stuff. So that was a good learning. Learned a lot of things. I'm not going to cut it out yet because I want to finish first. So that's where I'm up to with that, and let me just find my Journal of Stitchery. So this is the July panel that I've started. So it is going to work in with my theme through the whole book, wherever I put it and wherever it goes on what day. So I did learn another thing too. I've been using this because I found the friction pen, I just couldn't get it to come off. I was having all sorts of trouble with it. Now Veronique uses a 0.1 micro, it doesn't come off, but it's always when you embroider, you're going to cover it with your threads anyway. But around the outside here, for the shape, I went to use this and I said to the ladies, this is great because it does wash off, and I've never been able to get the heat pencil or the fabric pen to come off. And I always thought I had to rub it off with the rubber that's on the other end. And I know other people have said to me, no, you iron it and it comes off, the heat gets it off. But until the workshop, I hadn't really seen that fully in effect. And so I got to see how if you iron the friction material pen, it really does disappear. So I know that I'd heard that before, but I just thought I'd share a few of the little tips that I got, because honestly, every day is a school day and you're always learning. There's always something new to learn. So that's what I did on the weekend, and I'm actually have some photos that I'm now going to insert to show a little bit of Veronique working, and just a pan back from the quilt, not up close because as I said, she doesn't, it is her design and she doesn't want people copying. All right, just before I start the next stitch, I forgot, Veronique has given advice to CGT, so Cottage Garden Threads are a mother and daughter in Gippsland, and they have made these beautiful spun skeins. So is it a skein? I don't know. You pull out one and it's the perfect length. And Veronique has actually been the advisor on the colours and the advisor on how much distance between each colour. So, some variegated threads have a very big gap from colour to colour, but Veronique wanted a particular length of them. So I'm not quite sure how many, but they're beautiful to work with, and the colours, there were beautiful variegated greens and blues, and I got this because it worked well for my little cardinal bird, as well as now I already had some of these, but as well as this, so I did a bit of the cardinal bird in this variegated DMC thread too. So just realised I hadn't talked about that. Now we are doing knotted pearl stitch, and on the outside of my little cardinal bird, Veronique suggested I put 3 strands of this beautiful blue embroidery floss and a little bit of this pearl. Now, the other week I was talking about how some people say perle and some people say pearl, and I was very confused because I wasn't sure if it was the same, but it is the same. It's just in England they tend to say perle, and oh well, I don't know in America. I just think I've heard Anne on Handmade by Anne saying perle, and I've heard Australians calling it pearl, and I think Rachel calls it perle too. So there you go. Anyway, Veronique suggested I put them together, and that's why I got that lovely the background stitching. Where's it gone? Lost it. Here it is. This has got a very good wintry kind of feel about it, because you can sometimes see the lighter shade, sometimes see the darker shades through it. So not quite variegated in terms of changing colour stitch by stitch, but all together when they twist. Anyway, love that. That's great. So anyway, we're doing knotted pearl, and I'm definitely doing it left-handed. I was trying to do it right-handed on my little practice one, and definitely left-handed works so much better. Right, so we've got a row of 3 lines, so I've put it next to my feather stitch. So we'll come in the top line, back in the middle and out the bottom, and this is how we're creating the knot. I'm coming in, my thread needs to be under and then over and then pulled through, and then do it again, the same thing again under that stitch, thread under and over, pull it through, and that's like a double knot. So the knot is technically meant to sit on that middle line, and we're coming in up the top. I might space it apart a little bit just so that the knot's really obvious. Coming in at the bottom. So we're trying to keep these first 2 lined up, these second 2 lined up. Coming in, under, over, the same again. So under that stitch, this is under, and then over, pulling it through, created a double knot. So continuing along. Just coming up to the last 1 or 2. Forget there's always a double, so that's under and over to create a double knot. I'm just going to go in right at the end there to finish. So it's a 1 and then back through that top one again to create the second with the thread under and over. Create a knot. And then I'm going to go back down in here through that middle, and it's ready to be cast off. That's very effective, isn't it? It looks like braiding on a little girl's plaits or something. And that is knotted pearl. So there's one to have fun with for the week. I've sure been having fun this week. Alright, I think I probably should get onto that pincushion. Still haven't cut out the material or worked out what material I'm using. Or did I? No, I did work it out, didn't I? Okay. Alright, I'll get onto that. Here it is. There's the stitch wheel so far. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left to go. Awesome. Don't forget to double check laces. So anyone who's already cut these out to follow along with this, don't forget to check out Lisa Pay on YouTube. You'll be able to find her making it. Probably do a better job than me. All right, I'm going to go and cut these out and I'll be back. Right, I'm back. You wouldn't figure it. Okay, so I've cut the pattern out. I either need some firm cardboard or felt organised for that. So I'm not going to get this done, of course, and I've run out of time. I really wanted to upload it today just because it's so for Veronique, for her pattern. So I need interfaced felt or fabric. So I haven't got any interfacing. So both of these need interfacing, but guess what? It's my birthday today. Spotlight has given me a $10 off, so I think I'll go tomorrow and get some interfacing, and I won't get this done, but that's okay. There's plenty of other stuff. So I used a bit of an old dress for the 2 Bonderweb bits. So it's the apron inset. So I've got to cut that down. And one little bit of fabric. This is for the pockets. So I may end up embroidering or doing something on that before sewing it down, because if you looked at the at Lisa's video, it's got 3 lines for little pockets. So there's that. Now the neckline needed heat and bond, so that's what I did have. So I've put that on. That's ready to be heated to the actual mannequin. So I've got to cut that out. Got to get some felt. That's my heat and bond. So I just need the interfacing, and then I'll actually be organised. So that's it for today, and hope everyone has a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.